And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're going to take a look at Candle Quest, a light family strategy game by Yehuda Berlinger. This is from Victory Point Games and Gilead Games. This is actually a re-implementation of It's Alive, which was a game about digging up monster parts to build your own Frankenstein, essentially. This is the same game. In fact, it's been a long time since I played It's Alive. It's been about 6 or 7 years now, and I couldn't remember there being many differences other than the theme. This is a Hanukkah-themed game, and so let's take a look at it and see how it plays. Player gets a large shield. These shields are actually too big, I think. They take up a lot of room on the table, and they're really not that necessary. As you collect cards, you could simply keep them face down or in a hand or what have you, but whatever. But the shields are nice. They do tell you everything about the game. They tell you about the different cards. You can actually probably figure out how to play the whole game just from them. The game is revolving around players collecting these candles. And there are 8 different color candles here, which players are trying to collect a set of each of the colors. Each of the colors also has a different pose on it, so you can tell them apart. And they have different values on them. Now, the candles have different sorts of values. For example, this light blue one here will never go above 6. It could go down to value 3, while this one over here can go up to value 8 and won't go below a value 5. This is the lowest orange that there is. So there's different, values on the candles, and you're trying to get a set of them and as high of values as you can. On a player's turn, they can take an action, and usually your action will be flipping the top card of the pile over. When that happens, you can do one of 2 things with that card, or one of 3 things actually. You can buy it for the cost of the card, the face value of it. So here it costs 7. I can pay 7 coins, pay that to the bank, take the card, and put it behind my screen. If I don't want to, or can't afford to do that, I can sell the card, and I'll get 3 coins from the bank. That's the value if I sell it to the bank. When that happens, I will take the card, and I will place it in front of my shield, in a discard pile in front of my shield. Another thing you can do is I can decide to put the card up for auction. When that happens, I make the opening bid. So let's say in this case I say 3. Everyone else has 1 chance to bid higher than the last person going around a table. If nobody bids higher than me, I pay that amount to the bank and take the card, put it behind my screen, therefore getting it for a better price than 7. If someone else wins the bid, then they get the card and put it behind their screen, but I get the price, which will hopefully be higher than 3. Now, you don't always want to put things up for auction because you are offering them to the other players. Other cards can show up in the deck that aren't some of the 8 originals. This here is a wild, a party candle apparently, which can have a very high value going all the way up to 10 and can be used in place of any of the colored candles. And then you also have these sad candles, unlit candles. When these show up in the deck in front of you, you have to pay them off by either discarding shekels equal to the cost, so I'd have to get rid of 4 shekels here, or get rid of candles of equal value. But you have to do something. If that happens, I then get this back and I get another turn immediately. In the future, if another unlit candle comes, I can use unlit candles that I've collected to pay that off. Unlit candles are also useful for a 4th action that players can do, and that's looting. When looting, I can take a candle off the top of a discard pile from any player's discard pile and add it to my thing. But when that happens, it's much more expensive. It costs the face value plus the other value, so this one would cost 7. So that's kind of an expensive thing. However, you can use these unlit candles as part of your price, or even other candles from behind your screen. So the game will continue until one person has collected a candle of each of the 8 colors. At that point, they will declare that the game is over. Players will add up the values of the candles that they have, plus the shekels that they have, although the shekels that they have, the value of them is only equal to half of your candle value. So you can't just collect money the whole game and try to win that way. Whereas the most points is the winner. Now obviously if they were able to change the theme from digging up monster parts and building your own Frankenstein to making sure that you have your menorah all nicely decorated with 8 candles, if they can change it and it works pretty well, then obviously the theme was never the strong suit of the game. Although I seem thinking that the theme worked pretty well in the original one. The theme here is okay. I don't mind the can. I think the artwork is fantastic. It's colorful, it's cute, and it's going to really appeal to families. And because of its Hanukkah theme, it's going to have a market amongst people who might not have tried it otherwise. And I think that's great. The game itself is a pretty good filler. It really is. It's just fun. You flip over a card. You say, okay, I need to buy that one, but I hate wasting the money, because when you flip a card over, buying it, that's expensive. Selling it is a way to get money, but you might need it. Auctioning it off, you probably can get more money for it, but you're helping somebody else win. Now, I mentioned when I went over the rules explanation, at the end of the game, you add up the value of all the candles and the coins. That's actually the advanced variant, but to me, it's the best way to play. You could just play the first person to get one candle of each color wins. And that's actually probably a decent way to play it with families, or if you're playing with people who like lighter games. And the wilds are pretty powerful. People who don't know that at the beginning might get messed over because they let someone else get a wild inexpensively in an auction, etc. The game is okay quality. The shields, I wonder how much cost they added to the game, and I didn't think they were as necessary as I said earlier. But this is a victory point game, although their games seem to be slowly increasing in quality. We got the shekels here and the cards, and that's pretty much it. But I do like the artwork a lot. Game is quick, 20, 25 minutes maybe. Has a little bit of auctioning in it, but the game is not so much about auctioning as about knowing when to buy, when to sell, and when to auction, and looting. But looting doesn't happen as much as you think because it's so stinking expensive. I don't know. Light, fun, a cool, different type of theme. I like Candle Quest and I recommend it.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!
There.